Every Sunday worshipper will have to answer before God's throne. One day, every person who has worshipped on Sunday will stand before the judgment seat of God. The books will be opened and the truth will be laid bare. What will you say when God asks, "Who told you to keep Sunday instead of my holy Sabbath?" The seventh-day Sabbath was established from the very beginning of creation. Genesis tells us that after 6 days of creation, God rested on the seventh day, blessed it, and made it holy. This was before sin, before Moses, and before the 10 Commandments were written in stone. Yet, despite its divine origin, billions of people today follow a man-made tradition of Sunday worship instead. But where did this change come from? If God never changed his holy day and Jesus never commanded it, who did? The truth about Sunday worship history exposes a startling truth. Sunday worship was introduced by man, not God. In AD 321, Emperor Constantine issued a decree declaring Sunday, the day dedicated to the worship of the sun god, as the official day of rest for the Roman Empire. This was not done in obedience to God's commandments, but to unite pagans and Christians under a common practice. Later, the Roman Catholic Church openly admitted to changing the Sabbath. In their own writings they say, "The Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that." Did you catch that? The Catholic Church claims authority over Scripture itself by changing one of God's 10 Commandments. But can any human institution override what God has declared? The commandments are eternal. God's commandments are not suggestions, nor are they temporary. The Sabbath is written in the heart of the 10 Commandments, the law given by the very finger of God on stone, signifying permanence. In Exodus 20:8-11, God commands, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God." God said, "Remember," because he knew people would forget. Yet many today claim that the Sabbath was abolished. But Jesus himself said in Matthew 5:17-18, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." Heaven and earth are still here, the law still stands. Who then gave any man the authority to change it? The final test of loyalty. The book of Revelation speaks of a time when the world will be divided into 2 groups, those who obey God's commandments and those who follow the traditions of man. Revelation 14:12 describes the faithful as, "Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Jesus said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Love is shown through obedience. So if we truly love God, how can we justify following a commandment he never gave? The challenge to skeptics. Now here's the challenge. Skeptics and non-believers, we ask you, show us one verse where God changed the Sabbath from the 7th day to the 1st day of the week. Just one verse where Jesus, the apostles, or God commanded Sunday worship. It does not exist. There is no scriptural evidence for the change from Sabbath to Sunday. The only authority for Sunday worship is from the traditions of man. But here's the most sobering thought. One day, we will all stand before God's judgment seat. There will be no excuses. There will be no appeals, only truth. And the truth is, the Sabbath remains God's holy day, and Sunday worship is a man-made tradition. The choice is yours. You have heard the truth. You have seen the evidence. The question is no longer whether the Sabbath is true, it is whether you will obey it before it is too late. Jesus is calling. Will you listen? Choose today whom you will serve.